Hello, everyone, and good evening. Hello, hello. I am so excited to be back with you all. I missed you so much, so much. For everyone who might not be following me on Twitter, yesterday and this morning into this afternoon, I had the worst migraine ever. So I was really just not able to look at light, and I missed you guys so much because I wasn't able to give you morning inspiration for 2 days, and then I wasn't able to broadcast last night. And everything happens for a reason. I had just healing to do for myself, and really just now I'm able to share that with you all as well, right? That sometimes things happen within our body that is its own releasing process, right? And I know that on Monday night I shared a lot of growth that had happened to me during my call with my coach. But then I think, somewhere along the evening into Tuesday morning, I really began to just not feel well. And I woke up with a headache, and it slowly turned into a migraine. But I did lots and lots of releasing, and I did some healing, and I thank you, Miracles Within Us. Follow her if you are not following her, because she is an amazing healer. So she was able to help me today do some healing, and now I'm feeling so much better, and I'm so excited to be with you all, because that is really what drives my enthusiasm, is you all, is how much love I have, and how much love you share back, right? All these hearts I love, and I appreciate all the hearts. If you are new, I'd love for you to introduce yourself, right? I always mention I'm creating a community here. That's my purpose with Periscope. And I'd love for all of us to get to know each other. So in order for us to do that, we need to learn each other's names. This is a safe space that we're creating, and I'd love to get to know you. So if you're new, let me know. If you are a lifer, meaning you have been watching me religiously and missed me yesterday while you were trying to find me, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on every night, giving me your time and energy, and really for your commitment to your own personal growth, and to exploring and expanding your sexual awareness and being. So I am really excited about today's topic, because one of the things that I love to talk about, and one of the things that I find to be in need of more conversation, is sexual health. And I was thinking about this topic because I talked about it a few weeks ago, and my phone was dying when I was talking about it. So it was a very short, concise scope that evening. And I wanted to go a little bit into more detail, get some questions from the audience, because I love when you guys ask questions, when you also give your opinion on what I'm saying. All of that interaction, I'm just so thrilled by it. And it really inspires me to bring new material, new content, and new conversations to you all. So the topic for today, like I said, is sexual health. And I am going to begin with some self-disclosure, right? So I am a huge proponent of sexual health, and what really motivated me to have this topic be the topic for tonight is that today I went and took care of my own sexual health. So, for women in their 20s, generally, and I'm going to talk to the ladies right now, and then I'm going to talk to the gents in a minute. But generally, women need to go and have, a physical exam every year. Everyone needs a physical exam every year. And that's, general, they check your blood pressure, they check, to make sure like you're feeling fine. They might take your medical history at that point, and really just, it's a general checkup. Some of the things that are included in a general checkup for women is a vaginal exam, right? And now, ladies, I want to differentiate here a vaginal exam from a pap smear, right? A vaginal exam is when they insert the fingers and touch and really making sure that everything feels anatomically correct, that there's no swelling inside, that there's no, sometimes they can feel into the uterus and the ovaries, making sure that there's no abnormalities in that. And that is really your basic vaginal exam. Now, every couple of years, it used to be every year, but science has advanced, and so have the pap test. So every couple of years, depending on your age, you are scheduled for a pap smear. And what is a pap smear, right? You might be thinking that you get this every time you go to the doctor, and you don't. So a pap test or a pap smear is an exam where tissue or cells, right, from your cervix are collected and sent to a lab for examination to make sure that there is no abnormalities in your cells. And what do abnormalities in the cells lead to? It's a sign that there might be some infection, a disease, or even worse, that it could be cervical cancer or precancerous cells. So that is really what a pap test is testing for. It is testing to just make sure that all the cells are healthy and that there is no precancerous tissue there. Now, why is this test important? So there are hundreds and thousands of types of cancer, cervical cancer being one of the most preventable forms of cancer ever, right? So studies show that if a person, a woman, someone with a uterus, a vagina, gets a pap test regularly, the chances of them getting cancer, at least cervical cancer, are very, very low. It's preventable, and if caught early on, it's very much treatable. So this is huge. This is like the biggest thing for me, because one of the leading causes of death in women is cervical cancer, right? So something that is preventable is also killing a lot of women. And why is that? Because we're not taking time out of our schedules. We're not seeking out that healthcare. And I want to just, in the work that I do during the day, I fight for women's health and reproductive rights all the time. And I want to just, my heart goes out to all the women who may not have access to healthcare because of various reasons, either because there's, the clinic is very far, or it's too expensive for your income, or because of your immigration status, you can't seek out healthcare. There's so many barriers to healthcare for women, to healthcare for people generally, right? The Affordable Care Act covers some people, but it doesn't cover everyone. Private health insurance is ever more expensive. So all of these are obstacles. And I know that they're obstacles, but I just want to talk about how important it is to really seek out support, however you can find it, to get to a doctor and get this checkup, because it can literally save your life down the line. So that is the purpose and the mission of a pap test, right? So what else happens during an annual visit? So during an annual visit for a woman, your breasts are checked, right? And, one of the things I want to bring some awareness to is so many of us ladies just struggle with self-examining, right? And actually, I'm here to almost like take the burden off your back, because self-exams don't always lead anywhere. So the likelihood that someone is gonna do a self-exam and find a lump is very slim to none. So often what ends up happening is that we're stressing and feeling guilty a lot more than the benefits of doing the self-exam ourselves. So let yourself off the hook. As long as you're going every year to the doctor and getting that exam done by a physician, you'll be fine, right? And also, you know, just having the awareness, right, of our body, and if something doesn't feel right, going into the doctor right away, not waiting, you know, for the year to come if something just doesn't feel right. So that's kind of, you know, the plus of going regularly to the doctor, is that you don't have to worry so much about doing self-exams. So super important, you know, go to the doctor, get tested. You know, part of physical, right, when you go to the gynecologist or a general physician, is to get tested for sexually transmitted infections. And I know that even when we have one partner, we've been monogamous for a long time, we're like, I don't need that. But I actually want to encourage everyone to get tested regularly, because it's a great practice. It's a great practice. It builds trust with your partner, even if you know that monogamy is where you're at. It just really, and it also builds on your self-confidence and your self-esteem, right? To know that you're getting tested regularly, to know that you're healthy, that nothing's going on. That just like adds to our well-being and our state of mind about our well-being. So those are just a couple of tips and ideas that I have around sexual health, especially for women. Now for gents, dun dun dun. The number one obstacle that men have to going to the doctor is pride. Pride. So, you know, often, and I've had this conversation so many times with different people, you are scared of what's going to happen. And not just what's going to happen, you're scared specifically of one thing. And it's the digital rectal exam. Yes, the digital rectal exam is the number one fear that men have in going to the doctor. And why is this, right? It's a lot of stigma. It's so much stigma around male sexuality, right? It's this idea that if anything were to be near a man's anus, it automatically means he's gay. And this is just not true at all. At all. There's no truth to that. That is a socially constructed idea. It is based in false stigma. And it is really a detriment to a lot of people. Because a lot of people just avoid going to the doctor because of this. Another reason why, you know, men fear going to the doctor is because they think I'm strong and healthy and there's no reason for me to go to the doctor. And that's actually not true. You don't want to wait until the last minute to actually seek out care. That is actually why, part of the reason why insurance rates are so high, and it really doesn't add to a practice of well-being. And that is, you know, if anything I am promoting, through my Periscope, is really having a practice with your body, having well-being, being in tune with your body and who you are as a sexual being. And you can't really do that if you're not taking care of yourself and really seeking out the support and the care that you need to stay healthy, right? We want to maintain rather than repair and have to go through an extensive amount of healing because we weren't maintaining our body from the beginning. So men, I'm here to tell you, the digital rectal exam, it's super easy, it's super quick, and it's super beneficial for your health. It is prostate issues, testicular cancer, those are real problems that impacts men. And simply through this digital rectal exam, you can pick up on a lot of those signs, right? You can actually feel, and doctors can feel, a lot of your internal organs and make sure that they're working properly and they feel the right size in the right area. So it's really a simple procedure that takes a few minutes at most, right? Usually it's like a minute. And it might sound scary and it might sound like uncomfortable, but it really doesn't have to be. A lot of that is just fear around, this idea of having a finger in my ass means I'm gay, and it doesn't. And there's actually nothing wrong with that, right? There's plenty of heterosexual men, bisexual men, transgender people who enjoy anal. There's people who don't enjoy anal. There's people who are okay with a finger. There's people who are okay with all types of other things. So I want us to move away from this idea that anal equals gay, because it doesn't, right? Nothing about the anus was designed specifically for anal sex or for gay sex or any of that, right? So it's such a misconception, and it's so detrimental to our well-being and our health. And it's time that we break down that barrier, that we break down that stigma and that idea and get rid of that shit, because it's not serving anyone. It just adds to homophobia. It just adds to illness and lack of well-being. It's so unserving to our society, to our existence as sexual beings. And I'm really here to urge us all to take a stand. If you've been avoiding going to the doctor because of this reason, be bold, take a stand and go and get this exam done. And be proud that you're taking care of you, of your body, that you're listening to your body, that you're really in tune with it, right? That's such an honor for us to be able to connect to our bodies, to be able to be in tune, to focus in on what we really need to be well, and to honor that, right? And if that means a 2-minute exam, so what? Pap smears and vaginal exams aren't always fun. I mean, they're never fun. I'm gonna be real. They can sometimes be painful, uncomfortable. You might feel embarrassed in front of the doctor, and that's normal. And it's okay for that to be normal, right? It doesn't have to be like this awesome experience every single time, but to know that a few minutes of uncomfortability for a lifetime of health is completely worth it. It's so worth it. So I'm going to leave it there, because I think I said a lot about sexual health and annual exams. And I just, the action for today's call is call your doctor, schedule an appointment if you have not. Really, if you're a woman, go based on your age and your doctor's recommendations. If you're a man, you should be going once a year, every year, to get a full physical. And honor your body, honor yourself, and go get checked. Until tomorrow, I wish you all a passionate night, and I love you all. Ciao.